Hey, friends, my name is Jasper Williams III. Son, brother, pastor's kid, graduate, Woodward Academy, college graduate, University of Georgia, BA, Masters of Theology, concentration, urban ministry, Dallas Theological Seminary, vice pastor, pastor, church planner, husband, father, a salesman, tech advocate, senior leader, consultant, depressed, anxiety, intermittent explosive disorder, bipolar 2, still married, still a father, still a man of God, enrolled in a doctoral program, mental health care advocate.
Well, just a little bit about me. Good evening to everyone who is here on tonight. I missed my 7 o'clock time that I planned on starting. I posted on yesterday. I don't know, this week so far has just been full of surprises and things I really couldn't expect, but wanted to keep my word. Tonight, I don't have any particular expressed message that I'm trying to convey. I really just want to challenge you to look at where you were as opposed to where you are now. Now, the thing with that is you could actually be not in a good enough place, or where you are now may not be better than you once were. For me, it's different. I am now in a place wherein it's better, 1,000% better than I once was. This month, 5 years ago, I was getting ready to go into inpatient treatment in Seattle, Washington. And I found some pictures. I found some pictures. My wife sent me some pictures, and then I went back and I dug them up. I want to remember to tell you all at the end. Let me go ahead and make myself a note. There's a little adage that I live by, and I want to make sure that I share this adage with you all. Uh, okay, okay, here we go. So, when we made the switch in March to stop doing ministry and pastoring the way that was traditional, Sunday mornings, and um, everything that went with a traditional church. We still pastor, and we love the people that God has given us. But our Sundays look differently. We made that decision. It was bittersweet. It was bitter that what we had started 18 years ago was going to look drastically different. Um, the likelihood and the chance of uh, sheep scattering, I guess you could say, became a reality, because people want live interaction. And if you're their pastor, then you're their pastor. People are people. People want what they want, and they are deserving to have what it is they want. And we could, because of the decision that we made, we could no longer give them that. So that was the bitter part. Kind of like breaking up in a relationship, It was hard, and actually still even face some of the overflow of the decision that we made. Some people still don't understand it. The good part, though, is that it released me and my wife into another space and place for us to do ministry in a bigger way. And what I mean when I say that is it's bigger because where God is putting and placing us, the opportunity to touch more lives has been pretty awe-inspiring. And to have the privilege of still touching lives that were part of our hearts, it's like the marriage of both, the best of both worlds. And with that being said, this year being reflective, our top of our year started off the way that it started. We made this big change. And now we're winding down 2024, and 2025 is just days away. Actually, a week and a day, 2 weeks and a day away. When people get to the end of their year, they begin to reflect. Have they hit their goals? Was it harder than what they thought? What were the surprises? Even Spotify gets in on the fun, and they suggest and they show you the tracks that you've listened to the most. If you haven't seen that, if you have Spotify, you ought to take a look and see what you're feeding yourself. My wife sent me a picture of myself, and I was at this big event. We were at this big event up in Chicago. Charles Jenkins was actually, wow, he's doing the same thing. He was leaving full-time ministry, and it was his exit party. It was a great time that we had. Some of who's who was there. It was really fun to be in that environment. But when I saw this picture, it immediately took me back there. I want to show this to you. And I want you to look at, I think I got my IG family over here as well. Yep, y'all still watching. Good. Hey, Robert Marshall, I'm glad that you're on. Think back 5 years ago, this month of December, and if you got to stretch it out, November, October, January, even roughly 5 years ago, where were you? Were you in a better place, or were you in a more challenging place? Are you doing now more than what you were doing then with ease, or that's harder? In other words, a year ago, 5 years ago, you can see yourself now in 2024, but in 2019, it was a lot harder than it is in 2024, or vice versa. It was a lot easier in 2019 than it is in 2024. And I want you to get the emotion that surrounds that. Is that a good thing? I think now I work just as hard, probably even harder than I did when I was in traditional full-time ministry, but I use a different octane of gas. It burns differently. Where were you? What was going on in your life? We had a couple of special people at different times that lost their spouses right around now. And we've seen one get a new lease on life, and we've seen other get a new lease on life. Where were you? Then and now. A lot of what you see in people is reflective of where they are. And a lot of what you saw in people or see in people is reflective of where they were. A picture's 1,000 words. Let me show you this one. All right, so take a look at my face now. If you were on, you saw the quick video, and that is something that's coming. I tell my story, my whole story. It was about 31, 32 minutes, and there's still more left that could be there. Next year, 2025 is going to be a good, big year. But you see my face now. You're on a side profile. There you have it. Take a look at my jowls, the amount of gray that I have in my hair. Look at this. Does that look like the same guy? That was me, December of 2019 in Chicago. Can you see my face? You can see my hair. That stands out. I wasn't in a good place then. That smile was for the camera only. All right, look at this one. I'm trying to fake my swag, holding my stomach in, hoping that my jacket doesn't roll up. Looking at my face, I was probably, trying to. Shucks, I don't even know what I was trying to do. Then, now. And my wife, I can't zoom in on that one. But if you look right in my face, you can see that there are laps of fat on top of each other. And I was believing it was because I was working out hard, because I was lifting. And I was lifting, but lifting had nothing to do with the tire that was around my waist then and now. What about you? What does your then look like? What does it now look like? What picture could you go and get that would be representative of where you were December of 2019, of 2022, whenever it is that you're comparing? Mine is 5 years. Mine was accidental or coincidental, and we know there's nothing coincidental about anything. But what picture could you go back and you look at and think to yourself, wow? I really believe that if some of us were to go back and look at pictures, it would cause us to change the trajectory of our life. It would cause us to begin to move in a different way. I know that this past year has kind of been kind of gliding along, but we didn't come into this year with goals, nothing that was written down. You can bet in 2025, though, I'm going to have some very specific goals of what I want to achieve. I was having a call even early today talking about some goals that I have. I'm going to just use mine, would your 5 years ago compared to today, would it make you angry today because you were in a worse place than you were? Bad decisions? Would make you proud of yourself? I'm just asking. Even as I sit here and I think about how I feel about looking at myself in some of these pictures, I feel sad. I feel very sad for myself then, but in parallel, in tandem, I am so grateful. I'm gratuitous. That's a different guy that you're looking at there. That's a gentleman who had a very hard time keeping it together and feeling good. Just an overall sense of wellness. That was a gentleman there that was desperate for some help, which is why he went into a treatment program. I feel sad because I feel sad for that guy. I grew up with that guy. And he wasn't living his best life. But I am so happy for this guy, this one right here. I'm so very happy and excited for that guy because of what's coming, because of where he is, what he's postured to do. And you know what? Looking at this makes me think and become all the more intentional about doing it right, doing it righter, being more deliberate. Looking at this guy right here. All right, so you've seen that picture. I want to show you this one. I didn't put that one in here, but let me just go back to here. I just honor my wife so much. Man, I'm so grateful for that woman. I'll stop. I can go on and on about that one. And we about to have some family time. Quad is home and Jordan to be here Friday. So we love this time of year. But look at me and my wife now. It's funny, she's got on the same smile. Alicia loves to smile. She's beautiful, absolutely beautiful to me. And can you see my stature? I wonder if I can switch these. Oh, can I? Yeah, there we go. Can you see my stature? There's nowhere in the world I would have taken a picture 5 years ago in a sweatsuit with it zipped up. I promise you. Absolutely no way. I'm becoming moved to emotion because God's brought me so far. He's brought our family so far in 5 years. And here's the last one I'll show you. That's me. The picture that was before of my wife and I, I'm in the sweatsuit. And this picture, particularly right here, was taken July of this year. What a difference in that and that. Then and now. If your now doesn't look the way you want it to look, or if you don't know how you want it to look, you keep living. If your now looks better than your then, thank God and keep chasing after what He has next for you. Consider this the review of 2025. Tonight will be the last Mental Health Monday until January of next year. We usually meet on Thursday nights for Thrive Thursday, my wife and I. There will be no more Thrive Thursday. There will be no more Mental Health Mondays until next year. This is what I wanted to leave you with earlier when I told you that I didn't want to forget something. Be careful how you let people identify you. If I run into anybody that calls me, I was in the store. I can't stand going to Walmart, but I had to use the restroom. And so I stopped in Walmart, went to the restroom. On my way to the restroom, somebody says, "Thirdum." It was just this past weekend. I didn't have to even wonder what era they knew me from. They remembered me from Salem. I grew up in your daddy's church. That was a time, an era. Somebody calls me Jay. That was somebody from either my family or someone that I grew up with in a relationship outside of the church. Even when it comes down to Thirdum, the way some people say it is indicative and points to something else. If y'all hear all this bumping, it's a water buffalo coming down the stairs. Hey, come here. You hear me quiet? Come here.
I'm so sorry.
You're good. That's all right. I'm wrapping up. Come sit next to me. Can you pull the chair over? I'm doing my live.
Oh, you're on live?
Yep. I think the numbers are going up because of you. I think it is.
Hey.
So this is Jasper the Fourth. We call him Quad. He's home for the holidays. I was just wrapping up. We're about to watch something together, the three of us. So even on what I was saying is if somebody says thirdum, that puts me in one category. If someone says thuddin, I know that's dad's side of the family. That's that Memphis that's talking. If somebody calls me vice, for a while, for 10 years, I was the vice pastor of Salem. It puts me in a place. If somebody calls me pastor, it puts me in a certain place. But people have pictures of me of when I was with someone doing some service in our home earlier. And he was talking about this picture, Quad's graduation picture as a lacrosse player. And he looked at him now and he goes, yeah, what's up, big guy? He's different. Here's my point. Don't let anyone freeze frame you. For those of you all who stayed in here, that's what tonight's about. Don't let anyone freeze frame you. Don't let anyone keep you where you are not. And then give yourself permission to be where you are. But you picking up what I'm putting down? Even if where you are now isn't better than where you once were, you gotta live a life in process. Never forget, life is a movie. Something is always changing. There's always a new scene. Pictures are static. God lives in both parts of time, past, present, and future. But God's now is now, and you're in that now. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you and your family. And I pray that you all have an amazing new year from not just Quad and I, but from my wife, Pastor Lisi, and our absent daughter who is in DC. God bless y'all. We appreciate you all. We're going to rock out next year. Good night.